Joe, good to see you. How you doing? Evening. How you been? Scott, good to see you as well, brother. How you doing? How you been? Pablo, good to see you as well. How you doing? How you been? JP, good to see you as well, brother. How you doing? How you been? Good evening, Miles and all CMF. Let's go, JP. How you doing, brother? Hi, Miles. How are you doing today? I'm doing great, Scott. How you doing? Hi, Miles and all that CMF. Butch, good to see you as well. How you doing? How you been? Good evening, Miles and CMF. Free and Feather, good to see you as well. How you doing? How you been? Hello, Miles. Hope you're well. T, good to see you as well. How you doing? How you been? Good evening, CMF. Roscoe, good to see you as well. How you doing? Long time, brother. How you been? Scott, let's go. Good evening, Miles. Artistic, good to see you as well. How you doing? How you been? Hello, Miles and family. Comatose, good to see you as well. How you doing? How you been? Ian, good to see you as well. Good evening, Miles and family. Good to see you as well. Ian, how you doing? How you been? How's everyone doing today? Yard, good to see you as well. How you doing? How you been? Even brother Miles and the CMF family. Funky brother, good to see you as well. How you doing? How you been? Hi, Miles and CMF family. Dennis, good to see you as well. How you doing? How you been? And good day, Miles and CMF. Mike, good to see you as well. How you doing, Mike? How you been? How you been? I've been doing great, funky brother. Share the live, guys. Miles has been on a roll the last few sessions. Let's go, Scott. Happy Pisces. Good to see you as well. How you doing? How you been? Long time. How's things? So, what's up, Miles, and what's up, CMF? Max, good. Carrie, good to see you as well. How you doing? Miles, are we wrong? Are we going to see Santa rally? Are we going to see a Santa rally? That's an interesting one. Yeah, probably because of Trump. I'm late. What did I miss? Max? No, Carrie, you're perfectly on time. So, let's do a breakdown of what we're going to be talking about on tonight's episode of the CMF Live. We are back. It's Monday again. It's good to be Monday. Hi, Miles. Tell us the good news. G, good to see you. So how you doing? Perfect timing. So let me give you a breakdown of what we're going to be talking about tonight's episode, and then we go straight into the intro disclaimer, and about the time everyone's tuned in for the first part of the live, or the entire live. So, on tonight's episode of the CMF Live, on episode 229, we're going to be talking about the EU in terms of their MiCA regulations. We have some word coming in from essentially Circle and some updates they're doing, some updates on the MiCA regulations as well. We're going to be talking about Trump essentially appointing his next essentially crypto pro candidate, which is amazing to see that, you know, this is all coming together. Then we're going to be talking about Crypto.com essentially launching a US institutional custody service, which just signals that essentially the next clientele entering the crypto space is going to be institutional clientele. Then we're going to be talking about MicroStrategy essentially purchasing their next amount of Bitcoin and essentially prepping themselves for the NASDAQ 100 debut and some other things regarding essentially MicroStrategy. Then we're going to be talking about the founder of Cardano essentially advocating for crypto regulations and engaging with Democrats, the party that has always been anti-crypto and backing Trump, essentially backing Joe Biden on his anti-crypto rally. But Charles, the founder of Cardano, is trying to make contact with Democrats who are, you know, anti-crypto, like Senator Elizabeth Warren, and trying to bring them inside the crypto space. We're also going to be talking about Texas on tonight's live as well. Texas, essentially the oasis for crypto hub, is what they're aiming for. We're also going to be talking about the huge Bitcoin reverse explained by Bloomberg, Mike McGlone. Now, it's a perspective that's coming in from Bloomberg on what the matters are going to be inside the market space moving forward. We're also going to be talking about Nokia on tonight's live, a phone company that no one has heard about anything about them for the longest time. They're coming back inside the market space as a tech company. Nokia tried to go from smartphones to a security company, and now they're moving away from the whole, you know, just securing company assets to move into cryptocurrency. So Nokia's coming back inside the scenes. One of the biggest manufacturers to ever be essentially in the smartphone, in the mobile industry, is coming back and entering the crypto space. We're also going to be talking about VanEck on tonight's live as well. VanEck has just highlighted a street Bitcoin reserve to help the national, essentially, debt inside the United States. A perspective coming in with VanEck. We're also going to be talking about real-world assets platform Allo. It's a platform that has now just secured $100 million Bitcoin-backed credit to enter the real-world assets space. Now, they got their money from essentially some American essentially institutional companies, some VC companies, and a British company that funded this blockchain project, $100 million. We're also going to be talking about tonight's live regarding XRP and how it's keeping itself leveled at these prices. We're also going to be talking about tonight's live regarding the three essentially the major banks that are joining Ripple to create an alternative payment system. So those are the topics we're going to be discussing on tonight's live regarding Ripple holding steady, regarding Ripple getting ready for the next step, and regarding essentially Trump's essentially plans of appointing somebody, VanEck's perspective, country perspectives, MiCA perspectives, and so on. Some regulations and some policies to go through as well, which is vital for the crypto space. But before we go through any of that, I just want to say to everyone watching right now, welcome to the CMF Live. This is episode 229 of the CMF Live. Incredible that we're on episode 229. Also, on this live, if you're new to this, the CMF stands for Crypto Mouse Family. I'm your host, Miles, but I go by the persona Crypto Mouse. And on this live, you can tune in Monday to Friday, where I talk about the most recent news that's happening around the world in terms of cryptocurrencies, CBDCs, AI, politics, regulations, vital information for you to know about regarding the world completely transforming into a digital space. We also do Q&As on this live as well, which means if you do have any questions, put it down in the comment section. I'll be more than happy to answer any questions you may have. And the disclaimer of this live, as always, is not financial advice, not political advice, and whatever I say is only for entertainment purposes. So if you're watching this for the first time ever, welcome to the CMF Live. And if you're a regular, let's go CMF. So before we go for the first news, which is regarding the MiCA regulations coming out of the EU, let's go to the comment section first, and then we go straight into the first news. Let's see where you're at. We were at here inside the comment section. I heard Robinhood is buying out Bitstamp. Robinhood is buying Bitstamp. It was announced a while ago in this year, and it was announced that essentially Robinhood is buying out Bitstamp. But Bitstamp is also preparing for a derivatives exchange, which was announced a while ago as well. And they're also a partner of Ripple. First person today asked me what good crypto to invest in. They brought a small amount of Bitcoin. I said, even if it goes to 1 million, that's only a 10x on $500 versus $500 in XRP is a huge difference. Facts. I've always said this. At this point, it's about quantity. I'm playing the legitimate crypto side. Facts. Hello, Mal. Hello to my YouTube CMF. I hope that you had a good day. Let's go, Scott. Hi, everyone. One love. Good to see you. How you doing? How you been? Hey, Miles. Mickey, good to see you. How you doing? How you been? Good evening, Miles and CMF. Denise, good to see you. How you doing? How you been? Hello, Miles and CMF. Hope you had a great weekend. Let's go, Ghostman. How you doing? I hope you had a great weekend as well. Morning, Miles and CMF. Shelly, good to see you. How you doing? How you been? Evening, fam. Good to see you as well. Daniel, how you been? How you doing? So let's go for the first news on tonight's live regarding the MiCA regulations coming in rapidly by the end of this month. EU MiCA crypto regulations. Circle's executive reveals a major upside for Circle's play in the essentially stablecoin play going into the MiCA regulations. That's going to come to full effect by the end of this month. Now, some exchanges in the EU are pushing their boundaries in the MiCA regulations up until the January, you could say, even, or the first quarter 2025, but they have to adapt ASAP. Globally, the debate continues on possible complete acceptance of cryptocurrencies as a part of a conventional everyday transaction. Could this change essentially the way crypto regulations work? While this conversation remains ongoing, Europe is leading. At least banks and regions are providing crypto-friendly solutions now. A post that was circulating essentially by Patrick Hansen, the Circle's policy head, explained that Europe has taken the lead in this sector regarding institutions joining the crypto space. Hansen believes 2025 could signal a shift for European crypto firms to flourish. He said progressive regulatory frameworks like markets and crypto assets, MiCA regulations, have helped support the recorded gains. Notably, Hansen emphasized that despite the strong perception of strict regulatory hurdles and sparked by MiCA, Europe still has the highest number of banks supporting crypto businesses. As of the last count, there are 55 crypto-friendly banks in Europe. For clarification, MiCA targets ensuring that crypto-regulated firms have a supportive environment in which to thrive in. The regulatory frameworks seek to guarantee better access to critical banking services and seamless operations for them. Interesting enough, in 2025, non-bank payment companies, including issuers of stablecoins in Europe, will have this level of essentially permission unlocked for them. These services provide and could apply for direct access to central bank systems such as single euro payment areas and SEPA. In other words, a significant aspect of this development is allowing such companies to operate, interfering essentially with traditional banking systems. The result benefits is that it reduces costs and increases their efficiencies. In contrast to the US, Hansen notes that Europe is providing, essentially improving a more supportive grounds for crypto businesses. But that's just because of 2024 and Joe Biden's anti-crypto stance and Gary Gensler and so on. But 2025 obviously is the bigger picture with Donald Trump, a pro-crypto United States, rules and regulations, new SEC chairman. That's all the things that's happening in 2025. But I get the picture why 2024 was much more positive for the EU space than pretty much the American space, but things are changing. The tables are changing as well. The US is about to take the lead essentially coming 2025. Now, according to Hansen, Operation Choke Point 2.0 in the US is a major hurdle for crypto firms seeking banking services. He insists that Europe's regulatory rules have encouraged competition and payment systems and placed it ahead of others. Despite the points highlighted by Hansen, recent essentially events make it difficult for many to come to terms with this essential exposition. Notably, Tether recently pulled out of the EU operations following the regulatory challenges it encountered in Europe. Tether refused to comply with the MiCA regulations, which sought to guarantee greater transparency and security for the crypto market space. Tether's decision has raised concerns among stakeholders, particularly as Coinbase applied by delisting non-compliant stablecoins from its essentially platform. This compliance move has allowed for continued operation of Coinbase in the region. Many users have wondered what actions Tether would take should the incoming administration of the President-elect Donald Trump implement a regulatory reforms similar to Europe's guidelines. It is very, very highly possible that the United States and essentially market space follows the footsteps of the EU's rules and regulations and have some similarities going between them. As I've said in the past, there was an agreement that was signed in the essentially G20 summit last year by essentially G20 countries in New Delhi, where every essentially G20 countries will be under the same sets of rules and regulations moving forward, so there's no confusion when it comes jurisdiction to crypto rules. So what the EU has introduced regarding the MiCA regulations could be something very similar in the American market space, which means that USDT could possibly also be banned coming 2025 or 2026 in the United States, because if Tether didn't want to comply for transparency issues in the EU, then Tether is definitely not going to apply for transparency issues in the US. And Canada has also removed USDT as well from that picture as well, because they're not complying issue and not showing transparency. Additionally, they receive support from banking services, for example, which boosts growth as investors and confidence is assured. However, virtual asset providers would need to take responsibility for transactions on their platforms. Besides the guidelines for authorities, more leverage to track and identify illicit crypto transactions, these include those associated with essentially illicit financing, darknet activities, and among others, essentially. A US lawmaker, Senator Elizabeth Warren, supported stablecoin legislations to curb illicit fundings using the assets. Overall, the MiCA regulations also promote consumer protection while allowing for market innovation and growth. Notably, the stablecoins will be well categorized to ensure that their values does not disappear into nothing, leaving users with financial losses. Well, due to the MiCA regulations, nobody's going to be left with financial losses, because the MiCA regulations require stablecoin essentially platforms to hold at least 60% of reserves in EU banks, just in case a depegging situation happens with a stablecoin and it does tank, then at least there's reserves in EU banks that the EU government could use so it potentially doesn't crash the EU markets, which is great to see, because we've had in the past a stablecoin depeg, which was the Luna stablecoin, and that didn't really end well for the crypto space. So it's actually a good thing that they're introducing, showing your reserves, holding your reserves in banks, so that people are reassured when they're using that particular stablecoin for business use or personal use. And Tether is not really fond of this idea of holding essential reserves in banks, because Tether doesn't trust banks. That's interesting to hear, because Tether also wants to work with Venezuela, a country that is sanctioned, or Russia that is sanctioned. And I'm not saying sanctioning is good, but it's not good for business, is what I would say. Now, particularly when the biggest market space in the world is sanctioning them. Now, moving on, essentially from the EU market space that is coming to full effect by the end of this month. But this does open up doors for other stablecoins to take the ranks. USDC is already taking the ranks in the EU market space. Their European stablecoin is actually doing pretty well, because Tether is out the picture now, completely pretty much. And that Binance, which was the biggest user of USDT, has actually partnered with Circle to incorporate USDC in Binance. Tether's really getting pushed out. USDT is getting pushed out as USDT is trying to replace Tether. Or I would even go as far as to say, and I'm very confident on this, that RLUSD, Ripple stablecoin, will definitely take the ranks, because Tether is going down, RLUSD is going up, and USDC will be alongside essentially RLUSD. To be fairly honest. Now, essentially moving on from the MiCA regulations that can have similarities going through G20 countries, and that Tether is, days are pretty much numbered, we're going to move to Trump. But before we go through the Trump news in terms of crypto regulations and policies, let's go inside the comment section first. As I said previously, this is a live, which means if you do have any questions, put it down inside the comment section. I'll be more than happy to answer any questions you may have. So let's go inside the comment section first, and then we go straight into the Trump news regarding crypto policies and who's been the next candidate, essentially. So let's see where we were at inside the comment section. We were at here. Miles, HBAR, XLM, ACH. Any news? No, yeah, one. One member of HBAR is now essentially part of a Trump team, essentially, which is great to see. ACH, not much news about it. XLM, not much news about it either, but they're still amazing projects, and they're all long-term projects. Evening, Pure, good to see you as well. How you doing? Evening, how you been? Hi, Miles, the CMF. Connie, good to see you as well. How you doing? How you been? Help me, guys. I have a OKX wallet with USDT. I have the seed phrases. What's the way to send them to Binance? Okay, first of all, Devil, don't ever in a million years post your seed phrases inside of this live's comment section ever again. Second, I've been getting quite a lot of people on YouTube commenting with different names, seed phrases. Now, I just want to, bring everybody else into this, because there is also a scam that has been happening inside the crypto space for the longest time, which is people will post their seed phrases. Now, I've blocked this person because I don't know if it is a scammer or not, but anybody with brain cells wouldn't post their seed phrases. So here is how this scam works. People will write comments like, I need help, I can't access my account, or something on those lines. And then they will post their seed phrases. Now, that does not link to a genuine account or a wallet. What it actually is that they want people to enter those seed phrases, open that wallet, and then people think, oh, well, I got access to this person's money now. Let me make a transfer and empty his wallet into my wallet. And when you do that, what actually happens is the reverse, where your wallet will get emptied out into his wallet. So that's also a scam that's been happening inside the crypto space for the longest time. And I am getting quite a lot of, bombarded with comments on YouTube, especially, where people are commenting their seed phrases and going, I need help, someone please help me, or so on. And they're putting seed phrases down, hoping that they can potentially catch some victims that would enter their seed phrases and think, well, I have access to somebody's wallet now, let me empty their wallet. And in return, what actually happens is your wallet gets emptied out. So I've blocked this person, and I've removed every comment possibly to date of anybody posting their seed phrases inside the comment section of my YouTube page. Anybody that posts comments of seed phrases, I always remove them instantly. Anybody that posts scam comments on my YouTube videos, I instantly remove them also. I'm trying to protect people inside the crypto space as much as I can. So this person, in my case, is definitely a scammer. He's not, he does not need any sort of help whatsoever, and that is not a genuine wallet. So please be careful. If anybody ever posts their seed phrases and go, someone please help me, I'm stuck, or whatever, and you see seed phrases, that's not a genuine wallet. It's a scam wallet. If you try to empty it yourself, you will get emptied out instead. So please stay away and never fall for this cheap scam that's been going on inside the crypto space for the longest time. So I've removed this person. Evening Miles and CMF, Manny, good to see you. How you doing? How you been? Will rules and regulations also offer any protection for investors where their bags are covered if lost? Possibly yes, but not as what you may think. So, for example, rules and regulations regarding if your assets are lost, there's definitely going to be rules and regulations in place if you get scammed or if your assets are lost. But then there's insurance companies inside the crypto sector that you can use to insure your crypto assets with. There's also Coinbase One and so on. There's so many other things in that feature. But let's talk about it from a government perspective. Yes, there'll most likely be, for example, in the UK, the FCA, the Financial Conduct Authority, protects everybody's bank accounts, major bank accounts in the UK. If you're a British citizen, you're protected by the FCA. However, the FCA only protects you up to £80,000 of losses. So let's say if you're in your bank account, you have £1 million. The FCA can only protect you up to £80,000. The rest of your money is pretty much gone if your bank gets compromised, your account gets compromised. So there'll probably be similar things in position regarding governments doing some sort of regulations on that basis, but they will never be able to cover you for every single penny you put inside your wallet. So let's say if you have a $10 million wallet inside the crypto space, your governments might be able to protect you up to $100,000 max, not the whole 10 million. It's the same thing with banks. But there will most likely be crypto companies that you can use to insure your assets with. There's already a few in basis, but I don't trust them, to be fairly honest. I'm waiting for a full establishment of rules and regulations before I know which essentially insurance company I can trust inside the crypto space, because I want them to have licensing. I want them to be regulated. So if anything goes sideways, it's all on paper. I don't want to operate in gray areas when it comes to crypto insurance companies. But yes, there most likely will be something in place on those lines. Good evening, Miles and CMF. Lena, good to see you. How you doing? How you been? Good evening, Miles. Hope you're very well and look forward to another fantastic live. Let's go, Addy. How you doing, brother? How you been? How much faster did you say a quantum computer is compared to a current fastest computer? It was around. It'll take a normal computer. It'll take a normal supercomputer, the fastest computer we have in production right now, about 1 million years to be able to crack blockchain. It'll take a supercomputer about 1 million years to be able to crack blockchain, but it will take a quantum chip about 10 minutes. However, a quantum chip can also be used to advance blockchain as well. So keep that in mind as well. It just depends on which, who's handling the quantum chip. If it's Google with their new Willow chip, which they said they're getting to a stage, they can't release it. But if it's the Google Willow chip you're worried about, which I spoke about on the slide a while ago, Google's Willow chip is actually going to be used to advance blockchain technology, not to go against it. So Google's never going to be the one that cracks down on, ruins Bitcoin's chain or ruins any blockchain project's chain. Google's not the type of company to go around hacking blockchains. But if that chip lands in the wrong hands, then there's a possibility it could be used for bad things. Just depends on everything in life. If you give it to the good person, he does the right thing with it. If you give anything to a bad person, the same thing, they'll do bad things with it. But yeah, regarding quantum chips, they are getting to a stage where they're pretty advancing very fast. But keeping in mind, as we're getting closer to quantum chips from Microsoft or Google or Nevada, whatever, or Apple, for example, on the side, blockchain companies like Ripple and so on, they're also advancing their chains so they don't fall for these types of hacks. So on one side, you have quantum chips being developed, but the other side, you have crypto companies, advancing their chips, advancing their chains, keeping them secure, always maintaining them. So on one side, you do have protection going higher and higher, and on one side, you have the chip being developed. It's not like blockchain is staying where it is, and the quantum chip is just advancing. One side is advancing towards quantum chip, and one side is also maintaining blockchains and maintaining that security sense with it. So keep that in mind as well. Blockchain isn't just freezing, waiting for quantum chips to happen. Just for everyone to know. But yeah, 10 minutes will take quantum chip. How do you feel about XDC? I have been reading what appears to be positive information on it. XDC is an incredible project. XDC is an incredible project, no doubt about it. It's definitely, amazing, incredible financial project. It's been a part of quite a lot of testings through R3 Corridor as well, through banking systems pretty much around the world. So XDC, no doubt about it, there definitely has a place, especially when rules and regulations coming for the banking system. Amazing asset. Please listen to Miles about scams. I lost around $1,000 participating in an airdrop. Caution is the word. Facts. Always listen to me. Now, Trump names Bo Hins the executive director of Presidential Digital Asset Advisory Committee. Is this a good thing or a bad thing? I'll be honest, good thing. US President Donald Trump-elect has appointed former college football player Bo Hins to the new crypto council he's creating. Essentially, that was the announcement of Hins will be on board as the executive director of the Presidential Council for Advisors of Digital Assets. The 29-year-old acknowledged the appointee and essentially on a post on X saying, "Thank you, Mr. President. It will be an honor of a lifetime to serve you in the next administration. Thank you for everything you have done and continue to do for our country." Hins further expressed his excitement about the collaborating essentially with the council's chair, David Sachs. He also stated his commitments to ensuring that digital asset industries thrives and remains central to the United States technological leadership. According to a Truth Social post by Donald Trump, the Crypto Council's newly created advisory board composed of key figures in the essential virtual currency space, chaired by David Sachs. The group will work to foster innovation and growth in the sector while providing industry leaders with the resources they need to succeed in blockchain. Together, they will create an environment where this industry can flourish and remain a cornerstone of the nation's technological advancements, said the statements. Hins, also the alumnus of the Yale University and Wake Forest University Law School, played for both essentially North Carolina State and Yale in 2022. He took a stab at essentially elective politics, running as a Republican candidate for North Carolina's 13th congressional district, where he narrowly lost to Democratic Willie Nickel. He has long supported cryptocurrencies, describing the asset as a individual empowerment of finance. And further, he declared essentially the burdensome regulations and the Biden administration had placed on the industry and stated it needs freedom to grow naturally. Since winning the U.S. presidential elections, Trump has made several pro-crypto appointees in line with his campaign to promise to make America the capital of cryptocurrencies in the world. He also chose David Sachs overseas in AI and crypto sectors. At the time, he explained his responsibilities will include positioning the US as the world leader in these fields by essentially protecting free speech online and countering big tech bias and censorships. The crypto Caesar was also tasked with creating a legal framework for the United States to address sector's demands for regulatory clarity, enabling its growth and success within the country. Under Trump's administration, David Sachs's collaboration with the chairs of Securities and essentially Exchanges and Commissions, SEC, and the Commodities Futures Trading Commission, CFTC, will lead efforts to reform digital currencies and policies backed by a new crypto council. Additionally, the president-elect has also selected Paul Atkins, which we talked about before, to replace the outgoing SEC chairman, Gary Gensler, signaling his determination to reverse what he described as the Biden administration's war on crypto, primarily driven by the regulator under Gary Gensler's leadership. Congressman also French Hill was also named in the upcoming chair of the U.S. House Financial Services Committee, effective 2025. He is expected to play a crucial role in shaping the legislative measures for the crypto sectors in the coming years ahead. I'll be honest, so far Trump's teams are looking amazing. No doubt about it. Everybody's chosen for any sort of crypto positions inside the United States. They're all pro-crypto, no doubt about it. Nobody's here in the Trump administration to ruin crypto. They're actually here to genuinely make America the capital of cryptocurrencies in the world. And I do believe this man can get the job done. If anybody can get the job done, it's Trump. Now, moving on essentially from the Trump policies and news to Crypto.com. Also some relevance to Donald Trump. Crypto.com launches the US institutional custody service. What this signals is that the next clientele is most definitely going to be institutional clientele. Crypto.com is not the only exchange that is preparing for institutional clientele to enter the crypto space coming 2025 due to the amount of regulations we're going to be having and no more gray areas, which is therefore where the banks start entering the crypto space, institutions start entering the crypto space, and there's no more stifling when it comes to that matter. So Crypto.com is definitely showing signals that, you know, we do have the next clientele coming, and it is institutional clientele, and therefore we are launching a US institutional custody service. Crypto.com has launched an institutional cryptocurrency custody service inside the United States as a part of a plan to expand its US presence, the crypto exchange said today. Dubbed the Crypto.com Custody Trust Company, that chartered trust is eligible to custody assets for U.S. institutions and high net worth individuals, Crypto.com said. Digital assets held by Crypto.com's US and Canadian customers will migrate to Crypto.com Custody Trust Company over the coming weeks, the exchange said. It was also interesting, there was a time period where companies, blockchain companies, were leaving the US and going to Singapore, to Dubai, to the EU, to Hong Kong, to Japan, or so on. Now, crypto companies are coming back into the US because they know what's about to be happening. That is why Crypto.com is reopening its doors and establishing itself in the US, because they know under essentially Trump's policies, they're going to benefit a lot being a blockchain company based in the US. Essentially, this step reflects our confidence in North America's market space, said Chris, Crypto.com's CEO, in a statement. It also advances Crypto.com's roadmap for building our business and presence in two of the most important and active crypto markets in the world, the US and the Canadian market space. The US presidential-elect Donald Trump met with Chris, essentially the CEO of Crypto.com, at Trump's home in Mar-a-Lago to discuss crypto policies. The same day, Crypto.com dropped its lawsuits against the SEC, citing its intent to work with the incoming administration on regulatory frameworks for the industry. Trump said that he wants the US to be essentially the world's crypto capital, and is tapping essentially pro-crypto industry leaders to head key regulatory agencies when he starts his presidential term in January. Crypto.com is headquartered in Singapore and launched in the US in 2022, initially only for institutional investors. It suspended its service in the country back in 2023, but has essentially reversed its course because Trump is now coming into power. Crypto.com also bought Watchdog Capital, a broker deal registered with the SEC, in a bid to expand its essentially US footprint. And regulated digital asset custodians are essentially in the US. In September, BitGo, a US crypto custodian, launched a regulated platform designed to custody and manage native tokens for Web3 protocols. And Cointelegraph reported on Fireblocks, best known for its self-custody treasury management products, obtained an approval from the New York financial regulators to custody assets for U.S. clients. And other institutional crypto companies, including Coinbase Trustedy Trust and essentially Fidelity's digital asset services and Anchorage Digital New York, are also similarly licensed. So there was a time period where crypto companies were leaving the US. Now things are changing. Crypto companies who left the US are returning back to the US because they know 2025 moving forward is going to be amazing. We're going to be having regulations, which is great. We're going to get licensings happening for essentially crypto platforms, for crypto companies and blockchain companies and so on. A lot of things are going to be happening in 2025, and you can always see signs of that positiveness when crypto companies are returning to the US. They only left because Gary Gensler was trying to sue them in any movement they did, or essentially the Biden administration couldn't understand the concept of blockchain. But to be fairly honest, the Biden administration can't understand anything. They all share the exact same one brain cell together. But on that topic, you can definitely see signs that Crypto.com applying for essentially getting back inside the American market space, and also opening up a US institutional custody service, getting ready for the next clientele, which is institutional clientele, which equals to more money entering the crypto space in 2025. Now, MicroStrategy is what we're going to be talking about next. So moving on essentially from Crypto.com to MicroStrategy. But before we go to that news, let's go inside the comment section first. As I said previously, this is a live, which means if you do have any questions, put it down in the comment section. I'll be more than happy to answer any questions you may have. So let's go inside the comment section first, and then we go straight into MicroStrategy. Let's see what we're at inside the comment section. We are at here. Hey, Miles and CMF, Stormy, good to see you. How you doing? How you been? If anybody here has had success buying paired XDC and Binance and Bitcoin of KuCoin, that would be great. As a Canadian, it's very difficult to buy. Yes, It is, because Canada is becoming very strict on their policies. If anybody here has had success buying paired essentially XDC and Bitcoin off KuCoin, that would be great. As a Canadian, it's very difficult to buy. Yes, if anybody is Canadian and if you want to help out Happy Pisces, she's inside the comment section as well, regarding if there are ways you can buy things from the Canadian markets inside the crypto space. So is there anything stopping, say, China using quantum computers to mine the remaining BTC in seconds? Interesting question. Is there anything stopping China to mining Bitcoin in seconds using quantum computing? It wouldn't be able to mine Bitcoin in seconds. Let me just put that in perspective. That's going to be extremely difficult for China to do, even with a quantum computer chip, because there are also people who are maintaining Bitcoin's chain. So something like that doesn't happen. But if China did have the capabilities, let's say, and so on, would they do it? No, there's nothing stopping them, to be fairly honest. Nothing stopping them. Well, there is one thing stopping them. You see, when it comes to quantum computing, or when it comes to chips, computer chips, and so on, China is actually a little bit behind. The reason why China is a little bit behind the computing, chipping, and quantum computing, and so on, is because the US market space won't let China get ahead when it comes to chips, the computer chips. For example, if the US businesses that develop computer chips want to sell to the Chinese market space, they cannot sell the latest computer chips to the Chinese market space. They can only sell previous generations to the Chinese market space. It's a law that they cannot essentially, go against the Chinese. So the Chinese market space cannot buy the latest computer chips from the US. It's not allowed from any massive establishment as a US company that's into IT and so on. So they have to sell them previous chips from a few years back, because most likely they don't trust the Chinese market space, maybe based on those reasons. But there's nothing stopping the Chinese market space from doing that. If there ever was, they had the right computing chip and it was possible to do that, then yeah, there's genuinely nothing stopping them doing that. Good evening, Miles. Richard, good to see you as well. How you doing? How you been? Miles, could China use the power of their artificial sun to mine Bitcoin? Yes, if they wanted to, China can use the power of the artificial sun to essentially mine Bitcoin. They could if they wanted to. China could use whatever power to the whatever power source they want to mine Bitcoin. Fellows, China could use wind, they could use air, you could use water, you could use artificial sun, you could use the actual sun. China could use whatever they want to mine Bitcoin. To be fairly honest, good question. I'm interested in hearing Miles' one. Yeah. So yeah, China can pretty much use any energy source they want to mine Bitcoin. But first, China needs to have regulations in place to be able to mine Bitcoin. So that will take a little bit of time for the regulations to pass. And then they could consider doing it from the artificial sun or using water or wind power to mine Bitcoin. Now, even the Miles of CMF, Jason, good to see you. How you doing? How you been? So, MicroStrategy, keeping on also relative to your questions on Bitcoin, MicroStrategy, the #1 Bitcoin purchaser and is not slowing down. MicroStrategy's recent buy is $561 million worth of Bitcoin, and it's prepping itself for a NASDAQ 100 debut. So as Bitcoin is sitting along these prices and people are waiting for $20,000 Bitcoins, believe it or not, there are people still waiting for $20,000 Bitcoins. There were people waiting for $20,000 Bitcoins when Bitcoin was at 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. People were waiting still for $20,000 Bitcoins. But somebody like MicroStrategy, Michael Saylor is an incredibly intelligent man. He might be a bit stubborn when it comes just to Bitcoin. But when you have companies like MicroStrategy buying $561 million worth of Bitcoin for their next purchase, getting also ready to spend $2 billion buying Bitcoin, it's not a possibility that Bitcoin could go to $20,000 unless MicroStrategy decides one day to wake up and sell their entire Bitcoin assets. Then sure, we could see Bitcoin looming down to $20,000, because if MicroStrategy, who holds an incredible amount of Bitcoin, decides to sell all of their Bitcoins at once, then it'll obviously cause a selling panicking situation where everybody else, BlackRock will stop selling, Franklin Templeton will stop selling, Grayscale will stop selling, everybody will still selling, and then we can see $20,000. But as long as you have companies like MicroStrategy buying on their next purchase $561 million worth of Bitcoin, $20,000 Bitcoins ain't possible. MicroStrategy, the leading corporate holder of Bitcoin, has acquired 5,262 Bitcoins for $561 million. The company's acquisition of Bitcoin have now increased its holdings to 444,262 Bitcoins, paid at an average cost price of $62,257 per Bitcoin. MicroStrategy's buying of Bitcoin in terms of their strategy, their asset play is still continuing. They're not slowing down. Bitcoin also plays an important part in the company's growth strategy. Co-founder Michael Saylor highlighted the tech giant's latest move locks in the status as an institutional Bitcoin investor. The deal aligns with his ongoing push to improve his digital asset portfolio. The company had handed out $27.7 billion of its Bitcoin investments, the firm told CNN Business. Despite the volatile market, MicroStrategy demonstrates its bullish attitude towards buying Bitcoin, no matter what the price is. Believe it or not, Michael Saylor said he would buy Bitcoin at $1 million. Nothing is stopping this man from buying Bitcoin at $150,000, never mind $1 million. An indication, essentially, MicroStrategy demonstrates its bullish attitude towards buying Bitcoin. An indication of such a steadfast, essentially, commitment signals confidence in Bitcoin's potential as a global digital reserve asset. Later this week, MicroStrategy will join the Nasdaq 100 index, boosting its market essentially profile. This index recognizes the company's position among the top 100 companies listed on the Nasdaq by market capitalization, but it also indirectly exposes investors to Bitcoin by buying MicroStrategy shares. This is essentially a milestone for the company, which has grown tremendously and has been recognized inside the tech and financial sector. Investors who hold the $322 billion of Investigo's essentially QQQ Trust ETF will receive indirect exposure to Bitcoin as well. It's in conclusion, essentially, and does not there exist a more Bitcoin company than MicroStrategy. Also, it shows that the company has a dual identities, tech company and Bitcoin company when it comes to MicroStrategy. The debut on the Nasdaq 100 is a milestone on MicroStrategy's corporate journey. The listing highlights the firm's move to include digital assets in the mainstream financial markets. Meanwhile, this move could also bring institutional investors who fancy exposure to the burgeoning cryptocurrency space. In line with essentially Bitcoin's center strategy, MicroStrategy welcomes new board members, Brian Brooks, Jane Diz, and Greg, essentially each come with different fields of, for example, digital finance or regulatory compliance, who are now working for MicroStrategy. The appointees aim to bolster two key areas for the company's governance and strict directions. This addition of seasoned professionals signifies MicroStrategy's willingness to take on the new, essentially digitally realized asset landscape. Additionally, their experience aligns with the company's intentions of being an innovator of Bitcoin essentially and blockchain. This shows leadership change at MicroStrategy to ensure that it maintains its position as a leader inside the cryptocurrency industry. And Michael Saylor essentially still defends Bitcoin's role in the economic systems and leads MicroStrategy's Bitcoin acquisition strategy today. Under his guidelines, MicroStrategy hopes to take advantage of Bitcoin's long-term potentials. MicroStrategy supports President-elect Donald Trump's proposal to set up a strict Bitcoin reserve. The initiative proposes essentially steps to promote the digital asset industry and sets compliance standards. Michael Saylor's vision sees the US at the forefront of global digital economies and makes sense of the initiative. The reserve would create a great wealth and pay essentially down national debt. It could allow businesses to be empowered, and it could help the US maintain the global position as the essentially of the US dollar, added Michael Saylor. The move is a part of a broader effort to get digital currencies into the US financial system, and MicroStrategy's investments in Bitcoin have been essentially punctured by the company's advocacy of regulatory clarity. The company supports such initiatives which strengthen its place as a pioneer in digital asset space, and these developments could continue to cement MicroStrategy's beliefs in the innovation and growth. MicroStrategy is incredibly pro-Bitcoin no matter what. And, you know, as I said, if you have people like Michael Saylor, MicroStrategy, MSTR, buying Bitcoin at no matter what the price is, honestly, if you have people like Michael Saylor buying Bitcoin, Not even, spending $1 million or $100,000 to buy Bitcoin. $500 million was their recent purchase. Their previous purchase was around $100 million. Their other previous purchase was around $900 million. And the list just goes on. And Michael Saylor is getting ready for a $4 billion purchase of Bitcoin, not instantly at once, but breaking down $4 billion, throughout the next 2 years. So if you have somebody like Michael Saylor, keep on buying Bitcoin no matter what the price is. It can be sitting at 100,000, 150,000, 200,000, 300,000. This man said, I will buy Bitcoin at $1 million, is what Michael Saylor said on a news channel, on an interview. So you can never expect to see essentially $20,000 Bitcoins when you have people like Michael Saylor buying no matter what the price is and spending $500 million buying Bitcoin on each purchase, pretty much, roughly. And, as I said, unless you have somebody like Michael Saylor who decides one day to just sell all of his Bitcoins, then yes, you could cause a panic selling situation, and BlackRock and Franklin Templeton and everybody else might decide to sell as well. But as long as this man is buying and just holding, no matter what the situation is, or no matter what the price is, $20,000 Bitcoins ain't going to be happening soon. So if anybody's still out there waiting for $20,000 Bitcoins and dreaming and hoping about that scenario, never going to be possible. It's never going to be possible until this man, or somebody like this man who holds a tremendous amount of Bitcoin for their company, slows down the buying purchase. Now, on that topic, there has been rumors going around where MicroStrategy might not be able to buy Bitcoin next year. Not sell, but they might not be able to buy Bitcoin next year due to some law. But it's just a rumor. Has not been approved in any sort of a way. Just this rumor that's spreading inside the corporate sector, that it's not that MicroStrategy is running out of money, but because MicroStrategy has an incredible amount of wealth. They have so much money, they don't know what to do with it. That's why they're spending $500 million pretty much every month buying Bitcoin. But there is a rumor going around inside the corporate sector, due to some law, MicroStrategy might not be able to buy Bitcoin next year. Just a rumor. It's not approved in any sort of a way. So unless it's approved, then we don't know, and they still can buy Bitcoin. Just to keep that in mind as well. Now, moving on, essentially from MicroStrategy and Michael Saylor's Bitcoin purchasing situation to Cardano's founder. Cardano's founder is trying to, achieve something quite good inside the crypto space, to be fairly honest, which is to get Democrats on board for crypto assets. Because Democrats are the ones, not everybody who's a Democrat as a politician is against crypto, but the majority of Democrats have been anti-crypto for the longest time. Republicans are all pretty much pro-crypto. But Cardano's founder is trying to get Democrats on board, especially people like Senator Elizabeth Warren. Cardano's founder is trying to find an even playing field to get the crypto regulations happening faster, and to get Democrats who are anti-crypto like Senator Elizabeth Warren on board to make them pro-crypto. Now, before we go through that news, let's go inside the comment section first. As I said previously, this is a live, which means if you do have any questions, put it down inside the comment section, and I'll be more than happy to answer the questions you may have. So if you do have any questions, put it inside the comment section. I read everybody's questions one by one. I read everybody's comment one by one, and I shout out your name as well. So let's see where we are inside the comment section, and then after that, we go straight inside the Cardano and Democratic news in terms of crypto policy and regulations. So let's see where we are at. Thanks, Miles. Ian, no problem, anytime. HBAR up 12.5% now. Let's go. What's up, brother Miles and CMF? Good to see you all. Bill, how you doing? How you been? Was a little sick last days. Any XRP news? Towards the end of life. Crash coming, or are we going up? For the time being, we're going up, but consider from now until January 20th, anything could possibly happen. After January 20th, obviously Trump and the administration and Gary Gensler are out the picture, so there's less volatile stages. But from now until January 20th, anything can still happen. Gary Gensler is still in position. Trump's administration is still anti-cryptos. There's all that situation. There's still geopolitical tensions going on. It's after January 20th when things start to move to the positive side because Trump's now in power. But before Trump comes into power, January 20th, anything could pretty much happen. Big crash coming, I'm telling you. Mark, it's an outcome. Consider it as an outcome, not the outcome. If MicroStrategy does sell all their Bitcoin They'll make so much profit, however. Good example of why regulations would have to be in place to prevent such a market shock, prevent overselling at once. Yes, definitely. It's a very good example of regarding that matter. Regulations will stop, obviously, companies, as Happy Pisces said. It is true. Regulations will stop companies like MicroStrategy selling their entire Bitcoin or entire any sort of crypto assets they have at once, because it will cause a market pressure situation. But it still wouldn't stop companies from doing it. It just make it for them difficult to do it, because they can sell their Bitcoins to other high-profile net investors or essentially other companies, and in that way they're selling as well. So it does make it difficult for them to sell, but it won't stop them entirely. But it's true, yes. Alex, hi Miles and family, good to see you. So Alex, how you doing? I think Michael should change the company name to MicroStrategy, MicroStrategy, as he's affecting the world with his moves. True, very true. Pi Network, real king is coming. Murat, you think Pi Network is the real king of crypto? Interesting perspective to have. Pi Network is that free app that you can press a button and get some Pi tokens in return. It's not bad. It's free, but I wouldn't say it's the king of crypto in any sort of a way. Far from it. There's other cryptos positioned for that title. What's up, Miles? Christopher, good to see you. How you doing? How you been? I hope, but it's Pi Network is good. I hope you have a good Christmas, my friend. Bless you and your family this month. Thank you so much for the kind words, and I hope you have a great Christmas as well. Yo, what's up, brother? How you? Merry Christmas. How you doing? Merry Christmas to you as well. Hit the like button. Let's go, Christopher. Thoughts on Link? Link, good project. Nothing bad about to say it at all in any sort of a way. It's a good project, long-term project. It will do quite well under regulations. Other than that, it's good. Pi is on the Stellar network. Yeah. Now, Cardano's founder advocates for crypto regulations and engaging with Democrats. Cardano's founder is advancing in efforts to reshape crypto regulations, but engaging with Democratic lawmakers, including Senator John, who seeks to bridge party divides and establish a unified approach to crypto policies. Cardano's founder is focusing on skeptical Democrats, emphasizing that cryptocurrency issues transcend political lines. In a post on X, he highlighted the global, essentially, and nationwide significance of cryptocurrencies. His goal is to involve lawmakers from both parties in constructive discussions, especially those historically critical of industries such as Senator Elizabeth Warren. It's a good play, essentially, that Cardano's founder has taken it into his own hands to get Democrats who are anti-crypto to turn them into pro-crypto. The easiest way to turn any politician pro-crypto? Make a donation. All of a sudden, they're pro-crypto. Charles's initiative comes at a pivotal moment when some essentially prominent Democrats, including Warren and former Senator essentially Sherrod Brown, advocate stricter oversights of digital assets. Charles plans to meet with these essentially lawmakers next year, emphasizing dialogue over essentially division. He argues that the collaboration can lead to regulatory solutions that benefit both the crypto industry and the broader economy. Senator John has essentially drawn attention from his unique ability to connect with a diverse political audiences, particularly in Pennsylvania. Charles sees essentially Senator John as a key figure in his strategy to foster a support between Democrats and Republicans when it comes to crypto assets. By engaging with leaders like John, Cardano's founder, Charles, hopes to include a wider range of political perspectives in crypto discussions. Besides focusing on prominent figures, Charles' approach reflects a larger trend of encouraging essentially efforts to address evolving crypto regulations. This strategy aims to ensure that the crypto industry remains innovative and adaptable despite political differences. Moreover, Cardano's founder continues also to push boundaries in blockchain innovations. With the recent launch of Pluto's V4, the platform has introduced advanced features like zero-knowledge proofs and reinforcing its commitment to cutting-edge developments. These advancements align with Charles's broader vision of creating a technologically robust and politically in conclusion crypto environment. So, Charles is trying to achieve something actually quite incredible, to be fairly honest, because there are, anti-crypto people still inside the US government. Now, yes, their voices won't be heard compared to the past, with Biden still in power, and Biden has been in power for the last 4 years. The Democratic Party has had a very loud voice when it comes to anti-crypto situations. Gary Gensler's had a very loud voice, which is now resigning. The FDIC chairman had a very loud voice of being anti-crypto, who's also resigning. And his department apparently is going to disappear from the US government departments, the FDIC chairman's department. But yes, the Democrats have been quite very anti-crypto. So, and we're moving into a fully Republican America, which is great. We're moving into a fully Republican United States of America, and with Trump leading that show, which is also incredible. But it is also good to see somebody like Charles coming in and saying, look, Senator Elizabeth Warren is still anti-crypto. Let's make her pro-crypto. This person as a Democratic leader is still anti-crypto. Let's make them pro-crypto and so on. It's just good that Charles is actually trying to achieve this. Although it might be talking to a brick wall when it comes to Senator Elizabeth Warren, anything you say will just bounce off. But it's worth a try. Honestly, it's worth a try to get these people to also become pro-crypto. And then, both parties, Republicans and Democrats, are now pro-crypto and can move forward faster. Not that we're going to be moving forward slower. We're still going to be moving incredibly fast when it comes to regulations and so on, because we get a new SEC chairman, new CFTC chairman, rules and regulations. So many things are happening in 2025, which is all incredible. But it's also good to get those few high-profile seats also to become pro-crypto. Honestly, the only thing Charles has to do is make a donation, and all of a sudden those politicians are pro-crypto. It's very easy to buy out politicians. Now, moving on essentially from Charles trying to make everybody pro-crypto to Texas. Texas is apparently aiming to become the oasis of crypto, essentially a crypto hub of the United States. And Senator Ted Cruz wants essentially Texas to be a global leader in cryptocurrencies. He said, seeing Bitcoin as a symbol of freedom, Ted supports crypto-friendly laws, runs Bitcoin mining rigs in West Texas, and opposes strict federal rules. With Texas already growing in crypto, Ted Cruz believes it can lead the digital revolution, that Texas could become the #1 state in America that's pro-crypto, that becomes the capital hub of crypto. Senator Ted Cruz is one of the most passionate senators about Bitcoin and crypto assets. He wants Texas to be the center of crypto innovation, as he always expressed his vision whenever possible. Ted Cruz views Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies as more than just a currency or an asset. He sees it as a symbol of freedom, decentralization, and independence, which Texas has always embraced. He said, "We are also going to unleash crypto. I am proud to stand with crypto. I'm proud to stand with Bitcoin. And I am the only member of the United States Senate who is in fact a Bitcoin miner." Ted Cruz's statements at the American Fest 2024 by Turning Point USA in Phoenix, Arizona. Ted Cruz's stance for cryptocurrencies also goes beyond words. He has made it clear through his actions that he is fully invested in the success of Bitcoin and crypto assets and awaiting the Bitcoin reserve setup. He operates 3 Bitcoin mining facilities in West Texas, demonstrating essentially his strong commitments to Bitcoin and his vision of transforming Texas into a crypto hub. He said, "I am a strong advocate for Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies in the US." The US Senator Ted Cruz declared, emphasizing his goals to transform Texas into a global leader for Bitcoin and crypto assets. For Ted Cruz, Texas is the perfect place for Bitcoin to flourish as a mining industry. Texas has the resources and the mindset to be the center of this technology, Ted Cruz said. That the state is well suited for digital asset revolutions. The senator also criticized Senator Elizabeth Warren for limiting Bitcoin's growth, and he is comparing her stance to China's attempts to ban cryptocurrencies. Look, if Texas is trying to aim to become the crypto hub, it's great, honestly, absolutely amazing. Because not only is America now in 2025 going to be aiming to become a crypto hub, but if we have American states also aiming to become a crypto hub, even better. We'll get to where we want to be in terms of regulations and the amount of money coming in from institutions even faster. Because if we have a pro-Congress that's, pro-crypto assets, if we have a pro-Congress for crypto, a pro-House for crypto, a pro-president for crypto, and we have American states that are pro as well, and everyone's aiming to become a crypto hub, then things will move a lot more faster, which is amazing to see. Texas is not the only one who's trying to aim to become a crypto hub. Wisconsin is trying to aim for that scenario as well. Pennsylvania is trying to aim for that. Ohio is trying to aim for that. So this is great to see. We went from nobody wants to touch it to, nobody wants to go towards crypto assets to now every American state going, we want to become a crypto hub. Not only does the country want to become a crypto hub, but we want to become a crypto hub. Amazing to see, honestly. It just means more money for us, because with all this pro-crypto essentially situations, the rest of the world is going to follow America's footsteps, and the amount of money that's going to be flowing inside the crypto market space in 2025 and beyond, it's going to be incredible. If you're positioned well in legitimate crypto assets, your future looks incredibly bright. Now, essentially moving on to Nokia. Nokia, essentially a phone company that no one's, heard any sort of recent news about them. Nokia used to be the biggest phone manufacturer in the world. Now, the reason why I'm bringing up Nokia on a very random situation is because Nokia has decided to enter into the cryptocurrency space. So here it is. Nokia introduces new technology pattern for securing crypto assets. They want to get involved inside the cryptocurrency sector because Nokia sees crypto in the future. Technology leader across mobile, Nokia Technologies Co. Limited filed for a patent. The title of the filing is Device Method and Computer Programming. Now, to make everybody also understand that Nokia, moving away from mobile phones, did go into security for the longest time. Nokia became an IT security company, securing the highest company's assets, essentially securing well-funded and, well-established businesses is what Nokia's been doing for all these years. So they are a very legitimate security company inside, online, you could say. Device Method and Computer Program is the file they patent in to enhance encryption of virtual assets and make it robust. The patent was presented before the National Intellectual Property Administration this year, and the publication number provided to this was essentially CN1191556748. If anybody wants to go check out the pattern, Nokia is significantly making steps for the bigger picture by setting its foot into the swiftly growing field of virtual asset encryption, which is becoming a critical area. That is essentially blockchain and cryptocurrencies are becoming a massive boom inside the market space. The abstract of the patent. If we go through the abstract of the patent, it says that it's suggested the system mentioned in the patent will permit user devices to firmly encrypt virtual assets utilizing a first key, which is in works to essentially encrypt the asset and making sure it's secure. So basically, the simplest way to put it, Nokia is trying to create the safest wallet you can pretty much imagine. This key is probably a part of either systematic encryption or anti-semitic encryption system, where a sole key of a pair of public/private keys is responsible for ensuring that only authorized parties can hold possessions of decrypting and accessing the virtual assets. The process that involves transforming data or information into a code to obstruct undesirable access is referred to as an encryption. Encryption is essentially gives a promise to consumers that only people having permission can have access to manage and essentially their virtual assets, such as Bitcoin, Ethereum, other crypto assets. If there is no encryption, then any virtual asset can invite theft and hacks to happen. If we see the application of the first key, a first key network function is having encrypted assets along with the index that helps in monitoring essentially encryption processes for handling the future, which may consist of either processing or verification. Working of the patent. To make sure that the management of virtual assets is secure and traceable other networks, the system also holds a mechanism for recognizing these encrypted virtual assets. The recognition is then sent to the first entity for verification. The pattern works with an identification process that makes sure that the asset can be traced easily and can be verified by the right of the parties before being transferred. The development as well as the security of virtual asset management mostly depends on the patents such as Nokia. The company has been serving in network and telecommunications and technological innovations for a long time. And also it has positioned itself as a leading worldwide technology, essentially technology company. It is true. Nokia has aimed for the title of, becoming a security company, and they're doing quite well for themselves, to be fairly honest. But now they're entering the crypto fields because they're seeing, in their words, crypto is going to be the next wave. Blockchain in general is going to be the next wave where everybody has to get involved. And it's good to see that, we're going to get more security companies coming in to secure crypto assets, because having an alternative to Tangent, Ledger, and so on is actually not a bad thing, to be fairly honest. Now, moving away essentially from Nokia to VanEck news, but before we go for the VanEck news, let's go inside the comment section first. As I said previously, this is a live, which means if you do have any questions, put it down inside the comment section. I'll be more than happy to answer any questions you may have. So let's go inside the comment section first, and then we go straight into the VanEck news. Let's see where we were at. So the comment section, we were at here. Algorithm would counter overselling, yes. Same as stock market, yes. My best holdings are XLM, H4, XDC. What's your thoughts? Paul, your best holdings are XDC, XLM, and HBAR. Incredible. Paul, honestly, if you're holding XRP, XLM, HBAR, and XDC, you're holding financial projects, which under rules and regulations, financial projects, the financial sector inside the crypto space, under rules and regulations, will thrive the most. Because the only reason financial projects over these past years haven't been able to move as much, well, because one of them is being sued, which was XRP. The rest couldn't move as much because there wasn't any regulations in place. And also, they were stifling banks from getting involved with financial projects. The FDIC chairman was sending letters to the United States banks and telling them not to open up accounts for essentially crypto users or crypto business owners, or in other words, even work with crypto companies. That's what's been happening for the past few years. But with a Trump administration and pro-crypto policies coming in, that means no more gray areas, and the FDIC chairman has resigned as well. He's resigning at the same time as essentially Gary Gensler is resigning January 20th, which was moving into a rules and regulation, essentially market space, and banks not being stifled anymore. It means that banks can now get involved in crypto assets going to 2025. And the first 100 days is going to be very critical with the policies coming in from Trump, but it's all going to be quite pro-crypto. But financial projects that haven't moved because of so many issues are now going to be able to move, which means XRP will do incredible, XLM will do incredible, XDC will do incredible, HBAR will do incredible, and so on and so on. But financial projects, they haven't been able to move because they were stifled the most. No longer they're going to be stifled moving into 2025 and beyond. Now, if you look at, let's go to Scott's answer. So Paul, incredible portfolio, and you're going to do incredibly well going to 2025 and beyond. Someone may, not financial advice in any sort of a way, it's just where the rules and regulations are headed. Someone mentioned Texas. Hold up. Greetings, Miles and CMF. Hope all is well, though. We hold it down out here. Let's go, Ray. How you doing, brother? Yeah, Texas is definitely taking the ranks. They want to become a hub for crypto assets. If you look at the politicians, you have to see the for sale or highest bidder signs on their foreheads. Yeah, pretty much what Scott said is facts, And honestly, when it comes to politicians, it's not that hard or difficult to get politicians to do what you want, but there is a catch. If you want to get a politician to do what you want, donation. Make a hefty donation. That's what the catch is. You need to have a hefty amount of money to make a hefty donation. But politicians are basically, just pushovers. You could just push them in any direction. So you can push a politician into any direction by just making a hefty donation. They'll even, bend over for you if the donation is even big enough, or go in their knees if the donation is even big enough. But that's what politicians are, basically. People who just take money to pass some things around. It's not that difficult to make a politician do what you want. The catch is hefty donation. They'll either bend over for you or go on their knees for you. The only person that doesn't work on is Trump, because Trump has money, so they can't really pay him off. And that's why Trump is a good president. Only 17 likes. Hit the like button, everybody. Yes, please do. If you already haven't, if you're watching this on YouTube, like the live if you already haven't, and put a comment outside the video as well. If you're watching us on X, and I've been getting notifications as well. If you're watching us on X, retweet, like, comment, and share if you already haven't on X. I'm Scott. Thanks so much. Christopher, thanks so much for mentioning that. Let's go, Christopher. Thanks. Let's go. Miles, what are the ISO coins? None so far, but they can become. There was a few that's compliant. They can become compliant, but none of them are listed. XRP can become compliant, XLM can become compliant, H4 can become compliant, XDC can become compliant. There's none so far, but they can be compliant because they have the licensing to be compliant in that field. Is Singularity a good bet? Is AJIX a good bet? Is it a good bet? Probably not, to be fairly honest. To be fairly honest, no. It's an all right bet. It's not a good bet, I want to say. It's an all right bet. But they're becoming that super essential AI project, no? But I'll say stick to financial projects, to be fairly honest. Yeah, Paul, you have a great portfolio. Miles, is it safe to hold your XRP or on the Zaman wallet since it's the XRP ledger? Yeah, I mean, Zaman wallet is safe, sure. Nothing bad about the Zaman wallet to say in any sort of way, but at the end of the day, the Zaman wallet is still a hot wallet. Having a cold wallet is also a good idea. So Zaman is still a hot wallet at the end of the day. It's a great wallet, in my opinion, very secure, 100% very secure. But at the end of the day, it is still a hot wallet. It's, in comparison to a Trust wallet, for example. Preferably, you would want to have a cold wallet as well. But it's a good wallet. It's a very safe wallet, in my opinion. Salute, evening, Miles, and everyone. David, good to see you. How you doing? Thank God Trump won, Crypto Miles. Yes, definitely facts. Thank God Trump won. Hope so, because I use it. Yeah, Zaman is a good wallet. I use Zaman. I mean, it's a good wallet. No doubt about it. Safe wallet. Is it still worth holding artificial super intelligence against H4? No, H4 is better. H4 is better, way better than artificial super intelligence. Now, VanEck. So the whole, Bitcoin reserve for the United States. VanEck today has decided to give their opinions on that matter. VanEck highlights a strict Bitcoin reserve to address the national debt for the US. The head of digital assets of research at VanEck indicated that a strict Bitcoin reserve could help the US pay off its rapidly increasing national debt within approximately, now a lot of people, before I tell you how many years, a lot of people inside the crypto space assume that the United States can just, create a Bitcoin reserve and instantly pay off their national debt, which is wrong. There's no chance of that happening, where the US instantly is able to pay off their national debt. First of all, that national debt keeps on increasing as well. And every country that's creating a Bitcoin reserve trying to pay off their national debt, some countries might have, instant, situation of being able to pay it off, but not the US. For the US to be able to pay off its national debt, which by the way keeps on increasing, it will take 25 years. It will take 25 years for the US to be able to pay off their national debt using Bitcoin. There's one issue with that. Because as they're racking up Bitcoin, so let's say the United States creates a Bitcoin reserve, which all the Bitcoin maxis want. They want all the Bitcoin maxis want the US to create a Bitcoin reserve. They want everybody to create a Bitcoin reserve. One issue. As the US is ranking up Bitcoin to buy, on that side of the spectrum, the US national debt is still going higher and higher and higher. So as the US is buying Bitcoin here, the national debt is still going higher and higher and higher. It's going to take 25 years to get where it is standing right now. It's going to take 25 years with a Bitcoin reserve for the US to pay off their national debt. Just one issue. That national debt is not really stable. It keeps on climbing. So in most cases, it could even take 100 years for the national debt to be paid off at this pace because it's not stable. The equation only makes sense if the national debt is staying where it is and it's not going a penny higher. And therefore, then we could say, yes, sure, a Bitcoin reserve in the US will take 25 years to pay off the national debt. But the national debt isn't stuck where it is. It's moving higher and higher and higher. So on that basis, it probably would take longer than 25 years for the national debt to be paid off because it's not really standing where it is. Now, Matthew, a VanEck, and also the US only said they would buy roughly 5% supply of Bitcoin over the spectrum of 5 years or so on. Matthew, a VanEck executive, demonstrated via social media how strict Bitcoin reserve might improve the US financial situation by 2050. It's possible. According to Matthew's data, accumulating 1 million Bitcoins over 5 years would yield to a value of $42.4 trillion by 2049. While the national debt is projected to reach $119.3 trillion. So if the US is, buying Bitcoin, all the Bitcoin maxis want that to happen. If the US is buying Bitcoin at essentially, 1 million Bitcoins, over 5 years, and Bitcoin's valuation climbs and climbs and climbs, and now it's 2049, that means the US has an equivalent of, let's say, roughly $42 trillion worth of Bitcoin by 2049, because they purchased 1 million Bitcoins, individual Bitcoins, across 5 years. And the US would then have $42 trillion. But by that time, the US would have $119.3 trillion in national debt. So it will never be able to catch up. Which means the only way the US is able to pay, there is a solution, which nobody's really talking about it inside the crypto space. There is a solution for the US to pay off their national debt, but only Bitcoin is not the solution. If the US had a crypto portfolio instead of just a Bitcoin reserve, then yes, they will definitely be able to pay off their national debt. So for example, if the US had a Bitcoin portfolio, let's say they brought, for example, 1 million Bitcoins, they brought Ethereum, they brought XRP, they brought essentially XLM or XDC or HBAR or AVAX. If the US had a crypto portfolio, then by 2049, then yes, they will definitely be able to pay off their national debt, even have more on top left. Because if the US is going to spend the equivalent of buying 1 million Bitcoins across 5 years, 1 million individual Bitcoins, if they spend the same amount on buying XRP, they can definitely pay off their national debt. If they spend the same amount and so on XLM or XDC or HBAR, they could definitely pay it off. But just buying Bitcoin isn't really going to do much. It will do a lot for people who are holding Bitcoin. It will do a lot for people like MicroStrategy, Michael Saylor. Michael Saylor will be jumping up and down, going, yes, the US is buying Bitcoin. People like Michael Saylor will make an incredible amount of profit. They will be jumping up and down, popping champagne bottles. But the main question is, the whole of this situation is, can the US pay off its national debt? And the main answer is no. Because if they're already buying 1 million individual Bitcoins and the national debt isn't staying where it is, it keeps on climbing. Even by 2049, the national debt is sitting around $119 trillion, while their Bitcoin reserves for the US will be at $42 trillion, while the national debt by then is sitting at $119 trillion because it keeps on climbing. So the only way for the US to pay off its national debt is not just a Bitcoin reserve, they need a crypto portfolio, which is where the bigger picture comes in. Now, on that basis, according to essentially Matthew, the Republican Senator Cynthia Luminis of Wyoming announced her intentions to propose legislations that would enable the US government to accumulate 1 million Bitcoins within 5 years. The purpose of a strict Bitcoin reserve is to clearly essentially pay off the government's national debt and burdens of the American people. Cynthia Luminis said, Matthew's calculations from VanEck suggest that if the US's Treasury began buying Bitcoin over 5 years and BTC's price demonstrated even a 25% compound growth, the strict Bitcoin reserve could hold assets equivalent to 36% of the US national debt by 2050. That's still not enough. Only 36% will be paid off. What about the rest? These predictions support Senator Cynthia Luminis' calls for establishing a strict Bitcoin reserve for the US. The US needs to think bigger. Okay, the Bitcoin maxis need to get off their high horses and understand one thing. Are the Bitcoin maxis positive that the US is going to be paying off their national debt, or are the Bitcoin maxis positive because they're going to make more profits? Because if the Bitcoin maxis are positive that they're going to make more profits, then I understand why they want a national debt, why they want a Bitcoin reserve to pay off the national debt, because they're going to make profits, and that's what they're positive about. But if the Bitcoin maxis are truly therefore, let's pay off the national debt, let's get the burden out of the way for the American people, then only a Bitcoin reserve is not the solution. A crypto portfolio would be the solution. Buying, for example, XRP at these prices would be great for the American public, because they will be able to pay off, based on the quantity, be able to pay off their national debt. Or buying XLM at these prices, or HBOR at these prices, or XDC at these prices. So the Bitcoin maxis need to get off their high horses and realize that just a Bitcoin reserve isn't really the solution if we're trying to pay off the national debt. Because by this scenario, we're never going to be able to pay off the national debt. A Bitcoin reserve is never, ever going to be essentially be able to pay off the national debt. Not in a million years. Because, as they're trying to purchase Bitcoin across the 5 years, one, the price of Bitcoin is going higher, so they're going to buy less Bitcoins. Two, the national debt isn't staying wherever it is. It just keeps on climbing, which means they're never, ever going to be able to pay off the national debt for the US if they only use Bitcoin reserve, because the price of Bitcoin is changing every year, and they're trying to spread that cost of 5 years to buy Bitcoin reserves. And two, the national debt keeps on climbing. So they're never, ever going to be able to pay off the US national debt with just a Bitcoin reserve. But within the 5 years, if they start buying XRP, the US starts buying XRP within the 5 years. They start buying XLM within the 5 years, Ethereum within the 5 years, XDC within the 5 years, HBOR within the 5 years, AVAX within the 5 years, or Chainlink within the 5 years, then yes, sure, they will definitely be able to pay off their national debt. Because based on the quantity of those assets they'll be buying over the 5 years, then yeah, they go higher, national debt goes higher, but these assets will climb on top, because look at the prices sitting now, what the prices are going to be at 2049. Imagine the price of XRP at 2050. Imagine the price of XLM at 2050, HBOR at 2050, AVAX at 2050, Chainlink at 2050, NEAR at 2050, Ethereum at 2050. And imagine that buying it now, and a huge amount by 2050, based on that quantity, you'll definitely be able to pay off the national debt. But just a Bitcoin reserve isn't really the question, isn't really the answer. A Bitcoin reserve is not going to help the United States people get out of national debt in any sort of a way. But also you have the scenario of essentially every country creating a Bitcoin reserve. That might get Bitcoin to the finishing line. If every country creates a Bitcoin reserve, then yes, we could probably see it getting close to national debt, but you still won't be able to pay it off because it keeps on climbing. And every country has a certain amount of budget of how much Bitcoin they can have, because they don't have a lot of money. Latin American countries will be subjugated to buy certain amounts. The EU might buy a certain amount and so on, but nobody's going to splash the way MicroStrategy splashes. That's what the issue is as well. So even if every country creates a Bitcoin reserve, you got to picture as well, every country doesn't have that much money to buy, huge amounts of Bitcoin. They do have their own situations going on. Every country has a national debt situation. It's not just the US. Every country is pretty much broke up to a certain extent. The only thing that has money in these countries is basically banks and institutions. If you take the banks and institutions away from every country is pretty much broke. A lot of things to think about. Not as simple as people assume. These predictions support essentially sent voluminous for cause of establishments. Now, at the time of writing, Bitcoin's price stands at $93,839. This strict reserve could assess essentially future generations and alleviating the burden of debt. However, significant discussions remain regarding how such a reserve would be managed and its potential impact on the markets. Jerome Powell has already expressed opposition, and some Republicans are also hesitant. Creating a Bitcoin reserve could initiate a new era in the US's financial strategies. Now, moving on, essentially, but it's a very big thing, because they really have to think about this. Is just a Bitcoin reserve going to be enough for a US national debt? No. Even if every country gets involved, because the national debt keeps on climbing, and it's not slowing down in any sort of a way. And every country has their own bills to pay. And every country has their own economic crisis bubble situation going on. France still has a massive real estate bubble. That if that real estate bubble bursts in France's market space and in the French market space, then France is going. Germany has a massive economic crisis bubble for the automotive industry. If that automotive bubble bursts, then Germany's market space is going. So they really have to think about how much money they can really spend on that Bitcoin reserve. Yes, every country is aiming for a Bitcoin reserve by the looks of it, because obviously they're following America's footsteps. But you've also got to, see what kind of budget they're going to be spending. America will probably put the most amount. China will definitely follow in their footsteps and try to match America's budget. Russia might try to match it as well, but everybody else is pretty much broke. The Middle Eastern countries will probably get involved as well, but they're heavily involved in every cryptocurrency, to be fairly honest. So we really have to see how it plays out. But if we want to reach that target faster, if we want to be able to pay off the national US debt faster, a crypto portfolio is the answer, not just a Bitcoin reserve. Now, before we go into the next news, which is regarding real-world assets, let's go to the comment section first. As I said previously, this is a live, which means if you do have any questions, put it down in the comment section. I'm more than happy to answer the questions you may have. So let's go to the comment section first before we go through the next news, which is regarding real-world assets. Let's see where we're at. We were at here. Understand, I use it for small amounts, and I use Skurix as well as Tangent. Good, that's all good. Hi, dear friend. Could you please advise what can happen with Pepe Coin? Thanks in advance. Edward Johnson, how you doing? Regarding Pepe Coin, okay, what I would say is Pepe is not really something you should be aiming for. Pepe, the only thing that Pepe can be useful is washing money. Not saying people do it, not saying people should do it. I'm saying high net individuals around the world use projects like Shiba Inu, Luna C, Pepe, and so on to wash certain things. It's not really a project you should be aiming for. You want to be established. You want to go towards established projects that will benefit from the rules and regulations coming in. So we are heading towards a regulated market space, which means you want to position yourself in projects that will do the best in a regulated market space. And in a regulated market space, Zebra token, Koala token, Whale token, or Donkey token, Frog token, Camel token are not really what you should be aiming for in a regulated market space. Because when we're moving towards a regulated market space, that means institutions are going to enter the crypto space full frontal because there's no gray areas and it's regulated, which means institutional money is going to enter the crypto space. And there is, just think about it, there's not a single institution that is going, once the rules and regulations come in, we're going to enter into Zebra token. There's not a single institution that's thinking like that at all. Once the regulations come in, they're going to be aiming for Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, XLM, XDC, HBAR, Chainlink, Near, or whatever. There's not a single institution that's thinking to themselves, once the regulations come in, we're going to head towards Donkey token. Do you see where I'm going with this? What you want to do is position yourself correctly now, because regulations equals to utility, and utility equals to adoption. And we're moving into a regulated market space in 2025. And the next clientele is institutional clientele. And not a single one of those institutions is lining up to buy Donkey token, or Frog token, or Camel token, or Zebra token. They're all lining up to buy legitimate assets because now the market space will become regulated. So choose a crypto project that you will benefit from the rules and regulations coming in, the banks coming in, and institutions coming in. So you position yourself correctly in those crypto projects before the money starts pouring in from institutions and banks from around the world. But if you position yourself in donkey token or camel token or zebra token or frog token, the only money entering into that crypto project is retail section money and scammers and people who are washing assets, and also hedge funds, because hedge funds like the idea of messing with the retail sections. There's a long story on hedge funds, but yeah, so you want to position yourself correctly. So what I would say is, Edward, I'm hoping that you have other assets going for you as well, not just Pepe. But Grayscale has suggested the idea once that they might create a ETF for meme coins. That could possibly be, a way in for ETFs for meme coins. One ETF, a collective of meme coins inside. So Shiba, Pepe, whatever, in one ETF. Now, it's still nothing you should be aiming for, because other assets will still do better on the regulations. But if you do have that asset, they could potentially maybe do something based on something Grayscale said a while ago. But you still want to be aiming for legitimate assets, because they will do the best with the regulations coming in and institutional money pouring in. So you want to position yourselves first before that enters the market space, before that money enters the market space, is what I would say, Edward. Yeah, but also the change over digital will dissolve some of the debt as well, also increase the tariffs, and America calling their money back they have loaned to other countries. So combination, it is a combination, yes. Regarding America and the tariffs plan, America asking for their money back. America, there's so many things America can do, the US can do to get their money back from other countries as well. But what the US has to also realize is, if they start asking a lot of money back, for example, from France, then their economy will collapse. The French economy will collapse. If they ask a lot of money back from Germany, the German economy will collapse. If the American market space, if Trump asks, for their money back from the UK economy will collapse. The UK economy had no growth whatsoever. The UK economy, the British economy, had zero growth. Now, that could be a good thing or bad. No, it's not even a good thing. It's not really even a bad thing. It's like, what the, WTF? How can an economy have zero growth? Not just a economy, it's the British economy. It had zero growth. So the issue with it is a combination. Trump can go and ask for their money back. It's a great question, Shelley, as well, because Trump can go and ask for their money back, from the French market, from France, from Germany, from the UK, from the EU, from whatever country they borrowed money to. But some of those countries are crippled. And if they start paying back the US, they'll become more crippled, which will cause a domino effect of multiple countries going through an economic crisis. That's what the issue lies as well. As I said previously, economic crisis, literally, economic crisis bubble, and the world is pretty much skimming it. Just by millimeters. Economic crisis bubble for every country, and the world is pretty much going right next to it. If the numbers come out the other way, it goes right into the economic bubble. Every country will just go straight towards that economic bubble. But we're pretty much skimming it. So if the numbers come out the wrong way, we're going into the bubble. But right now, we're like this. And if Trump starts asking a lot of money back from a lot of countries, then a lot of countries are not going to be going like this. They're going to be going like this. That's what the issue is as well. There's a lot of countries that are crippled right now. But good question. Because a lot of people might be thinking that as well, Shelley, regarding Trump's combination of borrowing money, getting their money back and so on. Even Miles, please give us your thoughts on El Salvador's no more using crypto and International Monetary Fund blackmail deal. Mav, good to see you. How you doing? It is true. I read out the news a few days ago. Friday, I shared this news on regarding the International Monetary Fund finally being able to blackmail El Salvador. Now, El Salvador has said that they are still going to buy Bitcoin no matter what, and they're going to fast track buying Bitcoin, is what El Salvador said in a way. So that deal with the International Monetary Fund isn't going to stop El Salvador from buying Bitcoin, but it is going to get rid of one of their plans. Now, El Salvador had a Bitcoin plan for the retail section, where people would sign up to a government wallet and get some, small amounts of Bitcoin, not an actual one Bitcoin, but a very, very like $10 worth of Bitcoin, people will get as rewards from the government. The International Monetary Fund said, Get rid of that Bitcoin for retail section, and you can keep your other Bitcoin portfolio, is what the deal technically is. So the International Monetary Fund El Salvador situation, it's just they're getting rid of one plan, which was Bitcoin for retail section. They're going to get rid of that. And it's just going to be Bitcoin for the country instead. Hey, Crypto Mouse. Paul, how you doing? Oh, I've listened to many crypto senseis. You've listened to many crypto senseis and digital perspectives and etc. And I rank you in the top 5. You are fantastic in your crypto analysis. Thanks, bro. Paul, thank you so much for the kind comments. And will the US's thank you for the kind comments. And will the US's national debt still go up with Trump in power? Yes. There's nothing slowing down that national debt in any sort of a way, because printing is still going to be involved. Yes, it's not going to be, well, it might slow down for a bit, but freezing is not the solution. It's never going to freeze. The US national debt isn't going to just stop all of a sudden. It's still going to climb, but the speed might slow down a bit. But it's still climb. Even the miles of CMF, Pierce, good to see you. How you doing? How you been? I bet Trump's 2024 has already discussed this with Brad. I can almost guarantee the US has an NDA with Ripple. I believe so as well. I'll be honest, we're on the same page. And we're definitely on the same page, Christopher. If they stopped spending money on wars, maybe they could buy more Bitcoin and crypto 100%. True up to a certain percentage. Okay. What backs the US dollar? War. War is what backs the US dollar. So that's what the issue is again with, you know, if they stopped spending money, is what Ian said. Ian said if they stopped spending, if the US stopped spending money on wars, maybe they could buy more Bitcoin, which is a fair point. And crypto 100%, which is also a fair point. But there's also the other side of the situation where what backs the US dollar? War. Every time a geopolitical tension situation happens, what happens to the US dollar? Russia and Ukraine go to war. What happens to the US dollar? It gets strengthened, becomes a reserve asset. Yield bonds go up in price on percentage-wise. So what backs the US dollar is war, technically, you could say, in a sense. You know, the Middle East goes into war. What happens to the US dollar? It becomes strengthened. China will go, China goes into war, for example, of Taiwan, if it ever happens. What happens to the US dollar? It becomes strengthened. So there's also that side of the perspective as well. But, however, sending billions of dollars to Zelensky is a stupid idea. You know, genuinely a stupid idea. And war is not a good thing in any sort of a way. But there are many aspects of to why a war would happen. One of the reasons is oil. Second reason is gas. Third reason is any sort of resources in terms of gold or diamonds. Fourth reason is US dollar becomes strengthened. Fifth reason is UST bonds go up in value as well. You know, there's so many reasons of why war would happen that play out instantly when a war happens. But yeah, I mean, but still sending billions of dollars to Zelensky is not really the solution to Zelensky in any sort of a way. If the Miles, after regulations, will XRP be stakeable, or will there be a safe way of earning yields? Sending XRP, will it be stakeable, or will it, will there be a safe way for you? Yes, there will be. After regulations, there'll be many ways for staking XRP in a safe way, because the exchanges you'll be using are regulated. Yes, definitely. Never underestimate the other country's greed. Pretty much as well, 100%. Okay, boss, that makes sense. Maybe they should just buy a share of XRP then. I agree with maybe they should. I mean, a crypto portfolio is the only answer, to be fairly honest. Fairly honest. Wow, we're getting a lot of weird people inside the comment section as well. But I mean, that's just what it is when you're on the internet. Mao's US dollar thought it was backed by petroleum, petrodollar. It was mostly backed by war as well. Every time a war happens, what happens? Every time a war happens, US dollar becomes strengthened because it's a reserve asset. If Ukraine and Russia go into a war, the crypto markets slide, gold goes up a little bit, US dollar goes up. China and Taiwan go into a war, gold goes a little bit up, crypto market slides down, stock market slides down, US dollar goes up. It's a safe haven. Gold is a risk-off asset. It's a reserve asset. Gold is a risk-off asset. US dollar is a safe haven. So in a sense, yes, petroleum dollar. But also in a sense, it really does go up when war happens because it becomes that safe haven asset. Everybody moves from crypto from stock to essentially US dollars. But obviously, once we get regulations coming in, then that wouldn't be the case anymore. Once we have regulations coming in, utility happening inside the crypto space, and then we can essentially see the market space going up. In terms of even crypto assets, even if we have wars, if we have regulations and utilities being established, then some crypto assets will do quite well even during wars, especially financial projects. Now, moving on essentially to real-world assets. Real-world assets platform, Allo. So new crypto project, not out yet in any sort of a way, but they have secured essentially $100 million. Now, I've shared a few crypto projects on this live over the years. And I've shared them because I came across their news, not because I was sponsored to share them in any sort of a way. And I've never shared a random crypto project. Every crypto project I've shared on this live have all been backed by VC companies. And they've all raised 12 million, 50 million, or whatever amount of money, and then opened their doors slowly. So, I shared the people on this live the first time Ton came into the picture. First day that Ton was introduced, I shared it on this live. Ondo, the first day it came out, I introduced it on this live. Python, first day on this live, I introduced it. LAT, first day it came out, I introduced on this project. There's a few crypto projects that I introduced on this live. And they're all legitimate crypto assets because that's what I care about, legitimacy. Another one here. A real-world assets platform, Allo. Allo has just secured $100 million. Allo, a real-world asset tokenization platform, has just secured $100 million in debt financing to bolster its Bitcoin-backed lending business. Now, they raised their money from well-established, essentially, institutions and a British company is backing them as well. The Allo team announced essentially on their platforms that had successfully secured a Bitcoin-backed credit facility in the financing round, led by a consortium of lenders. These include London-based digital finance pioneer GreenAge and essentially an unnamed US-based institution. Allo, which is essentially seeing massive traction across the Bitcoin staking ecosystem, and their real-world asset tokenization on BNB essentially chain, will use the credit facility to boost its crypto-backed lending services. The platform caters to both institutional and individual clients looking to participate in the rapidly expanding crypto leading market space. Sean, the chief executive officer of GreenAge, commented on the rise, noting in a press in the UK based essentially company supports Allo's venture as the BTC lending platform and looks to bring traditional finance on chain. This is a perspective coming from a British institution and how they're backing this Allo company, blockchain company. Allo staking, essentially via BTC staking platform, Babylon, currently sits over 544 Bitcoins, with DeFi Llama showing the total value locked in Allo BTC at nearly $50 million. Growth within the BNB chain ecosystem has also seen its TLV, essentially in tokenized real-world assets, hit $2.2 billion. Meanwhile, the project is among those to secure investments from Binance Labs via the essentially MVB accelerator program. The real-world assets market space hovers near $900 trillion, while tokenized essentially assets are projected to make up to 10% of the global gross, essentially domestic products, with $24 trillion by 2027. Allo looks to tap into the tokenization potential with financing initiatives. Expansions has also seen as real essentially strategic partnerships with several crypto ecosystem players, including custody and wallet infrastructure providers, Cabo, and decentralized or coral networks, Chainlink. So if you want to go and check it out, Allo, if you want to go and check it out, they've raised $100 million in the real world asset space. They have some partnerships that's raised the money for them essentially, and so on. So if you want to go check it out, go and check it out, Allo. Now, moving on essentially from Allo to XRP, the big projects. XRP holds $2 support as whale moves and RLUSD essentially grows. XRP holds that essentially it is holding quite well, to be fairly honest. Ripple's XRP keeps on defying the odds in the crypto market as it stands its grounds or maintains essentially a critical $2 support, even as the battle burns. According to reports floated over the previous weeks, XRP lost essentially 8.2% to the US dollar, showing essentially a wider bearish sentiment pouring across a dismissal week for most cryptos. However, on-chain activity remains substantial, with large whale transfers among others, and the company's fiat-backed stablecoin RLUSD is growing in traction. It is true. I mean, look, the entire crypto market space did go through some turbulent situation the past few days, but the XRP still is keeping strong in its position, to be fairly honest, and it should be. Despite an 8.2% drop in price, XRP is one of the top performers in the crypto space. XRP is trading at essentially $2.18, down from its $2.68 on December 17th. And still up 50.40% in the last 30 days. This drop low to essentially $2.40 hasn't deteriorated investors, especially after a series of big on-chain transactions over the weekend. On December 21st, 30 million XRP was reportedly withdrawn from South Korea-based exchange Upbit for approximately $70.89 million. South Korea continues to be one of the most prominent centers for XRP, with 22% of its trading volume essentially coming in from South Korea. Ripple itself has moved big amounts of XRP, with 2 transactions totaling 90 million XRP on the same day. These transactions were 50 million XRP worth $111 essentially million and 40 million XRP worth around $89 million. Both transactions were sent to unknown wallets, raising speculations on what Ripple is up to, which could be anything from institutional partnerships to liquidity provisions. The Whale Alert blockchain monitoring system plays a pivotal role in tracking these movements. In short sense, it basically means that even though the markets went through some turbulence, even though we've had some up and downs essentially, even though essentially the markets went through some turbulence, and even though we've had some movement happening on the XRP chain in terms of large amounts of XRP being transferred here and there and to some exchanges, people are still not afraid of XRP, and people still want to go for XRP no matter what. Great, because it really is the #1 asset, to be fairly honest. Attention is also on Ripple's ecosystem as RLUSD, Ripple stablecoin, is growing. The market cap of RLUSD is currently sitting at $53 million, ranking 37th among stablecoins. It's now on the Ethereum blockchain as well, having issued 53 million RLUSD tokens. According to reports, about 73.87% of RLUSD supply is held in the Ripple's developer wallets. The second largest is the institutional liquidity provider B2C2 Group at 5.71%. Did you know that? Most people don't know that inside the crypto space. 5.71%. 5.71% of Ripple's stablecoin RLUSD is actually held by an institution. Following this is an unknown wallet with essentially a certain amount of RLUSD as well, while Uphold holds essentially 2.28 million RLUSD as well, and another 305,000 essentially plus RLUSD in the wallet, making it the 4th largest holder. The 5th largest holder is a Mexico-based exchange, Bitso, which plays a big role in the liquidity of RLUSD. RLUSD has done 1,396 on-chain transactions so far, with most of the activity essentially concentrated on Bitso and Mercado Bitcoin, Brazil's largest cryptocurrency exchange. RLUSD's journey to the top 10 stablecoins is not easy, as PayPal's PYUSD occupies the 10th spot with a much higher valuation. I'll be honest, it's actually very easy to replace PayPal stablecoin because nobody uses it. For RLUSD to take over PayPal stablecoin's position, incredibly easy. Ripple's recent activities indicate a focused strategy to strengthen its ecosystems. The big XRP transaction by Ripple is liquidity management, possibly in line with broader market or institutional activities. RLUSD is also part of Ripple's play in the stablecoin market space. Ripple backs RLUSD with fiat using existing networks for token distributions as a competitive advantage in the crowded market dominated by Tether's USDT and USDC from Circle. Simultaneously, the prominent South Korean role in XRP trading contributes heavily to Ripple's overall strategy, and South Korea is in fact one of the top countries that provide XRP trading volume, and for Ripple, it is an important area in which to promote adoption and liquidity in the Asian Pacific regions. XRP is still in the spotlights despite the market challenges. It held the $2 support after an 8.2% weekly drop, showing that it is strong and there is a huge demand for it. The big whale transactions and the growing RLUSD, Ripple's way of actively building its ecosystems and growing, though not without challenges. Ripple is in a good position to play the markets and create a long-term value with its multifaceted essentially approach to large transactions, stablecoin developments, and regional market engagements. Ripple's RLUSD is going to do incredibly. I've said this before as well. But what's good to see here is that even though there are large transactions happening on the XRP ledger in terms of going back and forth from exchanges, nobody's selling their XRP. People that are holding XRP are not selling. And I know why. Because out of every crypto project inside the crypto space, the XRP holders are the most stubborn. But they have a reason to be stubborn, honestly. Out of every crypto project, there's 24,000 plus crypto projects. The only crypto holders that are stubborn, and they should be stubborn, are XRP holders. Because we know what we have and we know what the value is going to be. So why the hell would we sell? And nothing will ever remove us from our positions when it comes to XRP. And that is definitely shown here, where essentially massive whale transactions are happening in and out of exchanges. Nothing sold. But XRP, people who are holding XRP, they couldn't care less because they know what they hold. They know what the value is going to become eventually. Now, staying on the topic of XRP, there's a documentation that was essentially released from the Chamber of Digital Commerce. And I had a look at the PDF document as well. So a publication from the Chamber of Commerce, a publication from the Chamber of Digital Commerce and Structured Finance sheds a light on major global banks collaborating with Ripple to create a potential alternative to SWIFT. The Society for Worldwide Interbanking Financial Telecommunications. The financial institutions mentioned on this PDF document, which I will share the PDF document in the Telegram group of this live. By the way, if you haven't joined the Telegram group of this live, join the Telegram group of this live. It's completely free. Everything I do and provide is completely free of service. The financial institution essentially mentioned on this PDF documentation is Bank of America, Santander, Union Credit, Standard Chartered Bank. These are all Ripple partners. I've said this previously in the past, but they're all mentioned on this PDF document as well. So Bank of America, Santander, Union Credit, Standard Chartered Bank, Westbank Banking Corporations, and Royal Bank of Canada represent a substantial segment of the global banking industry. The collaboration with Ripple underscores a pivotal shift in how financial transactions might be conducted, moving towards the adoption of blockchain technology for cross-border payments. The financial services industry has increasingly turned to blockchain technology to address inefficiencies in traditional systems. Blockchain's ability to process secure and essentially transactions in near term offers a significant advantage over legacy systems, which can be slow, expensive, and prone to error. Using distributed ledger technology, Ripple aims to simplify and accelerate global money movements while reducing associated costs. Traditionally, SWIFT has dominated the cross-border payment space, serving as the backbone for international transactions. However, its resilience on multiple intermediaries often results in delays and increased transaction fees. Essentially, through innovative blockchain solutions, Ripple promises instant settlements with reduced costs and a robust audit trail, making it a formidable alternative to SWIFT. The participation of major banks in the initiative reflects growing confidence in blockchain's potential to transform global financial systems. Ripple's established network, RippleNet, and so on, allows financial institutions to connect seamlessly and facilitate secure and efficient international transactions. The collaboration signifies a notable moment for blockchain adoption in traditional banking. By leveraging Ripple's technology, these banks aim to reduce the capital tied up in global trade settlement systems and enhance the speed and reliability of their services. This move aligns with the broader industry trend of adapting blockchain to improve transparency, security, and efficiency in financial transactions. While the details of this collaboration are still emerging, the implications for the broader financial ecosystem are profound. If Ripple's solution proves successful, they could disrupt SWIFT's long-standing dominance, paving the way for a new era in international finance. This is what it says exactly on the PDF documentation. I took a part of the PDF documentation just to read out to you, but I will share the entire PDF documentation on the Telegram group of this live. So this is one paragraph from that PDF documentation. From the Chambers of Digital Commerce. Blockchain's ability to securely clear and settle transactions could lower cost and increase speed and efficiency. Its near instant transfers of value could also reduce the amount of capital locked in global trade settlement systems. Banks, including Bank of America, Santander, Union Credit, Standard Chartered Bank, Westpac Banking Corporation, and Royal Bank of Canada recently joined with Ripple to create a possible alternative to SWIFT, the Society for Worldwide Interbank Financial Telecommunications, for sending and receiving information about financial transactions. Now, this document came out. This document is from, you can see it even from a while ago, but it was never revealed until now. It was never revealed until now. And it clearly states, look, some people might still argue and say, well, it doesn't state XRP. It states Ripple, so that means therefore no XRP. Look, if you want to stay poor, just say it. I really don't understand, for those types of people, how many more signs do you need for you to realize what XRP is going to bring to the table? Because some people read this PDF documentation and go, oh, well, it only says Ripple, that doesn't really mean XRP. How many more signs would you possibly need for you to understand what's really happening? Is the real question for those types of people. But look, as it clearly states on this document as well, Santander, Bank of America, Bank of Canada, Westpac Banks, Standard Chartered Bank, and so on. The list goes on. These aren't the only banks. All working with Ripple. All trying to build essentially an alternative system to SWIFT. Look, either this alternative system is going to, be incredible, which I believe so it will be, or it's going to work alongside SWIFT system, and SWIFT has no choice but to adapt to Ripple system, which is the XRP ledger eventually. Either way you look at it, XRP is playing a key and vital role. If you're not on XRP, you're not holding XRP, you've never read into XRP, but all you've heard is bad things about XRP from other people or crypto influencers, do your own research. I've always said this, and I will always stand by this. Every single person in this planet has an opinion. Everyone has an opinion. I have an opinion. You have an opinion. But opinions are not correct, and facts are facts. Stick to the facts. Stick to the PDF documentations. Stick to the Bank of International Settlement PDFs, the International Monetary Fund PDFs, the World Economic Forum PDFs, central bank PDFs. There are PDF documentations on the Bank of England website talking about XRP. So, look, honestly, everybody's entitled to an opinion, but opinions are not correct, and facts are facts. Stick to the facts. And if you haven't looked at XRP, look into it, because the signs aren't, the signs couldn't be even more clear. And 2025 is just around the corner. So if you haven't looked into XRP, look into it fast. Genuinely. If you haven't already looked into XRP, look into it fast, because 2025 is right around the corner. And 2025 is all about regulations and the dismissal and, settlements of XRP's case. New SEC chairman, new CFTC chairman, America becoming a capital hub, everybody following America's footsteps, rules and regulations, banks and institutional money. You can see where this is going. So if you haven't looked into it, look into it. Also, we have reached the endings of tonight's live. And all good things must come to an end. They have already now. But I also do have one small announcement to make as well. So tomorrow and the day after is Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. So I'm going to be off for Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. So tomorrow and the day after, no live, because it's Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, which I will be spending with my family, which I don't spend much time with them. So I'll be spending it with my family because I don't spend that much time with my family, and I should do. So Christmas Eve, which is tomorrow, and Christmas Day, which is the day after, pretty much, I'm going to be spending with my family. So I won't be doing the live. But after Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, I'm back on the live again. And the next day I'll probably be off is New Year's. Other than that, every other day, as normal, I'm on live. Monday to Friday, I'm on the live no matter what. Except Christmas Eve, which is tomorrow, Christmas Day, which is the day after. Boxing Day, I'm doing the live because Boxing Day doesn't really matter. And it will continue up until New Year's. So everybody keep that in your calendars. Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, no live. And then the live will continue again. I also posted as well, just in case some people do miss the announcement. And New Year's will also, no live as well. But other than that, so Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, and New Year's, no live. Every other day, live is happening. Just want to make that announcement as well. Before we go as well, let's go to the comment section first as well. And happy Christmas to everyone as well. I hope everyone's spending it with their families. Miles, US dollar. Okay, let's see where we are inside the comment section as well before we do go. Great job, Miles. Thank you so much, Scott. Is Lunacy a good deal since you said it could be used for washing? Yes, in that sense, yes. How is Allo spelled? Allo is A-L-L. A-L-L. I'll tell you now. Allo is A-L-L-O. A-L-L-O. Well, let's go. Hi, Miles on CMF. Sorry, I'm late. Peg, good to see you. How you doing? How you been? According to World Economic Forum, by 2027, tokenized assets are expected to represent 10% of the global GDP value at $24 trillion. Thank you so much for that information. Thanks, Miles. Have a great holiday. Take care of CMF. Let's go, Stormy. See you in 2 days. Stormy, see you in 2 days. Have a great weekend. Have a great holiday as well. Have a great Christmas as well with your family. Have a great Christmas and a wonderful time with your family. Let's go, Mickey. I'll see you in 2 days, Mickey, as well. Good night, Miles and CMF. Merry Christmas to you and your family. Mike, thanks so much for the kind words, brother. See you in 2 days. Merry Christmas, Miles. Thanks for a great show. Let's go, Autistic. See you in 2 days as well. Merry Christmas to your family as well, Autistic. Merry Christmas, family. Let's go, Comatose. Merry Christmas to you as well. Miles, you have a great Christmas with your family. Free and forever. Thank you so much as well. Hope you have a great Christmas to your family as well. Great live. Merry Christmas to you, Miles, and everyone else. Love, all love. Let's go, Ray. Ray, see you in 2 days as well, brother. Merry Christmas to you and your family as well. New Year's Day or even New Year's Eve. New Year's Day, more like. I'll be off. Miles, great job. We appreciate you. Peg, thank you so much for the kind words. Merry Christmas to you as well, Peg. Thanks, Legend. Merry Christmas to everyone on the CMF. Miles, I hope you have an amazing Christmas with your family. And Santa comes to you. Thanks for all you do for our CMF family. Let's go, Shelly. Shelly, hope you have an amazing Christmas and Christmas Eve and Christmas Day with your family as well. Good day. Good night, Miles and family. Season greetings to everyone. Great live. Many thanks. See you on Boxing Day. See you on Boxing Day, Ian. Thank you so much. Merry Christmas to you as well, Ian, to your family as well. Thank you so much. Have a lovely Christmas, Miles and CMF. Lena, let's go. See you in 2 days as well. Merry Christmas to you, Luna, and your family. Merry Christmas, Miles and CMF. Peg, Merry Christmas to you as well. Good night, Miles, and all CMF. Great holidays to you all. Free and forever. Let's go. Great to you all as well. Thanks, Miles. Enjoy your holidays. Mav, let's go. See you in 2 days' time as well. Happy holidays to you as well. Thanks, Miles. Enjoy your holidays, everyone. Ghost Spawner, let's go. Enjoy your holidays as well, Ghost Spawner. See you in 2 days. I will be seeing everybody inside the CMF in 2 days. Everybody have an amazing Christmas, an amazing holiday. I'll be saying everybody in 2 days. And also, this was the CMF Live. If you already don't know what this is, this was a CMF Live. Stands for Crypto Mouse Family. you can tune to this live Monday to Friday, where I talk about the most recent news happening around the world in terms of cryptocurrencies, CBDCs, AI, politics, regulations. If you haven't already, subscribe on YouTube. If you watch us on YouTube, like, comment, and share. If you watch us on X, follow me. If you haven't already, comment, comment, retweet, and share if you already haven't. I'll be seeing everybody in 2 days' time. Merry Christmas to everyone, and happy holidays to everyone. Night Miles of CMF, outstanding live as usual. Merry Christmas to all. Let's go, Joe. A very Merry Christmas to you and your family. G, thank you so much. Merry Christmas to your family as well, G. And Joe, Merry Christmas to your family as well. I'll see everybody in 2 days. Merry Christmas and happy holidays, everyone. See you in 2 days, CMF.